Yes, and it's very interesting. I mean, I look, uh, if you think about Israel and Egypt, given what Erdogan said about both countries over the years, right? He called Sisi, a bloodthirsty killer. Um, and then the other day, they shook hands. But this is a little bit the genius of Erdogan. Erdogan can say something today and say exactly the opposite tomorrow, and people will go along with it. This is the populist leaders like Trump, Orban. They can change policies, and their followers will go along with them no matter what. Also, you have to remember that in Turkey, 90% of the press is controlled by Erdogan. So Erdogan's any moves that he makes gets justified and amplified by his press. So as if nothing happened before. And increasingly, you're right, there are signs that he will talk to Assad. Maybe he will wait for the elections, maybe not. I mean, it depends on how the polls and how he senses the public's feeling about this. Remember that Turkey, to its credit, took about 3 million Syrians as refugees. But this is creating now a backlash in Turkey. So they're anxious to send back these refugees to Syria. In fact, one of the ministers the other day said, well, that 1 million refugees had been sent back, which is not true. But you realize that the pressure they are under to do something about the refugees. Look, the revolt in Syria started in 2011. It's been 11 years. And clearly Assad is not going anywhere. So Erdogan, in that sense, is being realistic. I have a problem on my southern border. I need Syria also on the Kurdish question. I need Syria about the refugees. So Assad will remain. The only problem for Erdogan is ultimately how will he justify it? Because after all he said about Assad and Syria, he's going to have to eat his words, so to say. But as you said, he's done it now with so many countries that it's becoming almost a practice, right? So people almost expect it now. And it's actually very interesting that what you said, that there is a talk now of talking to Syria, and it came after Egypt. So if you can make peace with Egypt, with Sisi, then you can also do Assad. I mean, so you see this progression, if you want. Now, it is also true that Erdogan thought that when he broke relations with all these countries, and he was on the up and up, that he was becoming a world leader, he was taking the leadership, and he has this fantasy that he is one of the great leaders of the world. And suddenly realized that after 10 years of having poor relations with all these countries, he was the one who lost in the process, or Turkey lost in the process. So he's now trying to make amends, if you want. Again, it's for his own interest. He's not doing it for any principled reason. But he realizes that he needs to do something about the refugees. Now, if somehow, and I'm sure there are conversations going on between Turkish and Syrian officials behind closed doors, and that it may be that even before the elections, they will announce a deal whereby Assad will say, we are reestablishing relations, and we're going to take back, let's say, 500,000 refugees. That would be a big, big, big boost to Erdogan before the elections. So I would not be surprised if there is a deal before the elections.